Hello, welcome back to Core Finance. I'm Matt Brown. I'm joined by Alessio Rastani, founder and CEO of leadingtrader.com. And Alessio, you've been on the show over the recent months, and two predictions that you've had, Euro dollar and Tesla. You're going to give us an update on how you got on.
What I always like to do for for your viewers and for our own subscribers on Leading Traders is I always like to go back on previous calls, predictions that I made. And certainly I don't claim to get every one of them right. Who does, anyway? Yes. But in any case, I like to examine the previous predictions and calls I made, see which ones I got right, which ones I got wrong. And I think it's a good idea to be honest with our subscribers, with our viewers, and also learn from any mistakes that we might have made along the way. So for this video, I'm going to focus on two trades predictions that I got right, and then another video will talk about a prediction I got wrong as well. So euro dollar, and I talked about the euro recently about a few weeks back, and I said, look, we were short on the euro, and not only were we short, but the smart money was short, and they're still heavily short on the euro, despite the drops we've had. So what does that mean, and where do we think the euro is heading? Take a look at the right-hand side there, everybody, and I want to focus on what we have there on the monthly chart. As I said before, markets fluctuate. They don't just go in one direction. What we're seeing, Matt, and maybe you'll agree with me on this, that I think what we're seeing is a reversion back to the mean. So we've had this nice, strong rally on the monthly time frame, going back several months now. And I think what we're seeing is a reversion back to the mean. I think reversion to the averages, like the 21 moving average, that blue line on my chart, which brings it really about potentially 114, 113 half. 115 certainly I think is going to be a level of support we're going to have to look at. So if we look at the left-hand chart, this is what I think from the Elliott wave perspective. I think we completed wave 5, that long wave 5 up there, as you can see on that chart, near 121 that was. And now we're starting this corrective ABC wave that we're seeing here. So this, if you want to, for those of you who are a bit more clued up on Elliott wave theory, that that big massive wave we see up there, that's a wave 1, sort of long-term wave 1. And this correction is a long-term wave 2. And wave 2 is composed of ABC, essentially a three-wave corrective, a corrective wave. So where would this correction, this ABC wave, or the C wave now, take us? Again, as I mentioned before, very likely I'm still looking for further downside pressure towards 115 to even 114, 113 half. And I think 113 half is going to be the level you want to pay I think potentially by that time it might be 114. That's the level you want to be paying close attention to. There's also a green line on my chart. That's the 200 moving average. It's likely to be a very strong level of support. If I was going to be a buyer in the euro, I'd be looking at those levels. The 200 moving average, which will be by 113, 113 half there. I'd start looking to maybe establish nibble on some longs, getting in long on euro there. But I would say this, for the moment, let's stay short. Still looking for downside pressure on the euro, and eventually we'll get there. So that's what I got. And then in the next video, I'm going to talk about Tesla. That's another prediction we got right, but that's what I got so far on the euro. Okay, so here's Tesla. Now, we remember we talked about this, Matt, and I think we both agreed that Tesla, certainly from a fundamental perspective, it didn't make any sense.
Yes.
This is a company, again, that's hugely in debt, has never turned a profit, and yeah, sure, it's got a lot of fans out there. Hey, you know what? I love their cars too. Every time I walk past the Tesla motor display, it looks beautiful, looks amazing. I'm not going to deny
cars, but is it a good-looking stock, though?
That's right, exactly.
That's important.
It's a good-looking car, but is it a good-looking stock? As you say, I would argue it's not, for the same reasons I just mentioned. According to Bloomberg, they sent tremendous amounts of money into paradise. In other words, they blew it away. So put it this way, look. We've seen investors have agreed with us. Investors have also been dumping the stock. I mentioned in the previous video, in the previous talk we did,
yes.
I told viewers here on this show and are also on subscribers on Leading Traders that short Tesla at 340. That was the level I mentioned, 340 shorted. Yeah. So if you shorted it, you should now be in profit. It's dropped by $10. Down to 30 bucks. Did I say 10? So it's down now to $300, $299. That's going to be a psychological support. But here's some bad news for Tesla. Folks might be saying right now, well, surely buyers going to step in right now. It's 300. Well, here's the problem. We've already seen some negative impact on, we're already below the 200 average, below the green line. And the stock markets, the Dow and the S&P, are quite frothy. They haven't had a pullback or correction for a few months now. So that's likely to happen in November. There's likely to be a correction in the stock markets. That's not going to be good news for Tesla. Any correction in the overall stock markets is going to put downward pressure on, especially weak stocks like
And we
Tesla.
discussed that before, didn't we?
Absolutely, we did, and I remember you mentioned that as well. So where are the next levels that Tesla could go to? I'd be looking at 280. 280 is the next strong support. If we break 280, I think then you're looking at 260, 240. But I actually would be interested to see potential long opportunities near that 280, 240 levels. I think maybe buyers will step in at those levels. But here's the thing, what if we're wrong? And we should always ask ourselves, what if we're wrong on this? Well, okay, if I see Tesla gaining some energy and going back above the 200 average, the green line, which is right now 320, 318, then okay, I'd start getting interested maybe if that happens, because sometimes that does happen, goes below 200, goes back above it. I think ideally we need to get above 340 for me to get back interested in Tesla.
Understood.
How likely is it? I don't think it's likely. I think we're going to see more downside pressure on Tesla, again to those levels, 280 potentially now, and then we'll see. But that's what I got, and in another video I'll talk about some predictions I got wrong as well.
Yeah, we can't get them all right.
Sure.
Fantastic, Alessio. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks a lot.